de deur in huis te vallen. Ben jij blij met jezelf?
Ik ben redelijk blij met
Jij bent
mezelf,
blij met jezelf.
ja.
Ja, iedereen is wel. Min- en pluspunt, maar ja, over het algemeen wel.
Ik ben best blij met mezelf, ja. Ja.
Good afternoon and welcome to the second episode of The Real. My name is Jelle.
And my name is Anne-Marie, and you're watching Make Me Seen, where we focus on real people who are misunderstood or misjudged because of their real stories.
Our guest today is Chalice. Hello, Chalice.
Welcome.
And we think he has an incredible story to tell us about accepting who you really are. You are a boy, but you are born in a girl's body, right?
Yes, that's true.
Thanks for being here. First, we are going to watch a short clip that we shot with you in Nijmegen, in the Kronenburger Park, which is your favorite spot in Nijmegen, you told us. So let's have a look.
What age did you find out that you'd rather be a boy than a girl?
I was around 7 or 8 years old, and I kind of knew these typical girls things didn't fit me.
To Chalice, his sexuality and gender have always seemed natural. But how is this conceived by his family and friends?
I didn't really tell them, but when they called me she or her, or I was kind of, no, it's he, you know, like.
So you try to kind of transform in a natural way.
Yeah.
So you know Chalice as a boy.
Yeah.
What was the point you discovered he was a girl before?
It wasn't weird at all for me, it was kind of natural, so I was like, yeah, should I call you a girl or a he? But he said like, it doesn't really matter, so sometimes I said he, but then the other time I said she, but now most of the time I just call him.
In his spare time, Chalice is a passionate dancer. Together with a bunch of friends, they create their own choreographies.
It means the world to me because I can express myself and be like one with myself and feel everything I do, and for a moment I forget everything around me and just be who I really am, and I think that's such a wonderful thing.
While walking up to his favorite spot in the park, I asked Chalice about his future plans.
Well, I love to travel a lot, and I'm very interested in different cultures and looking for the things all the people have in common instead of looking at the differences.
Chalice, thank you for your time. I loved hanging around with you today, and you told us a very interesting story. Thanks.
You're welcome. Yeah, sure, I enjoyed it. I enjoyed it too.
Now we can go back to the studio.
Well, Chalice, it was really fun to hear about your story and about your favorite places.
Thank you.
You seem so confident. Was that a couple of years ago also the case?
Well, in the beginning it was a bit harder for me because I had to find out who I really was, and well, everyone around me always said something about it, you know.
Like what?
Like,
Like they already
yeah,
knew?
yeah, like they didn't really understand it. Some people were making fun of me or doing other things that were a bit hard to go through, but well, in the end, I'm just myself, and yeah, that feels good. And now I see that the other people react positive to it.
That's great.
So yeah.
So how did your friends reacted kind of positive, or very positive actually to it, right? At least your friends right now. And your family, how's that?
I don't really have the idea that they understand it yet. Well, my father does, but it's still quite difficult.
Yeah.
They don't really accept me as who I am.
Okay. And so your father understands, and your mom, does she?
No, she doesn't.
She doesn't.
She still wants to put me in a dress, and you know, she still has this picture in her head from me as a little girl.
Yeah.
And I guess it will always be like that. So, gotta deal with it.
I guess, yeah.
And how about your name? I'm curious about that. How did you, because you were first Celeste,
Yeah.
how did you come up with this name?
It's a Latin word, and I was just searching for the meaning of my name, which means heaven, in other languages, and made it a bit shorter. And yeah, I was just a little creative, and then I came to Chalice,
Okay.
Great.
and I guess
Thanks.
it fits me better.
It does.
Well, thank you. We'll dive deeper into your story later on.
So, Chalice, you are not the only one who is struggling with their gender or sexuality, obviously.
No, definitely not.
There are a lot of people who do this, and they are part of the so-called LGBT community. And to outsiders, what this all means might be a bit confusing. So let's take a look at Dr. Haggis, who is going to tell us all about it.
I'm going to be talking to you about a vast range of different sexualities and identities that people may have in life. We've got a long acronym we're going to be using here. It's LGBTQIA. Now, you might be more familiar with just LGBT. This is a standard acronym that people have. This means lesbian, gay, bisexual and transgender. Lesbian are women who identify as female, who are sexually attracted and predominantly have relationships with women. Gay, you may be familiar with, is men who are attracted to men sexually and have relationships with them as well. Bisexuality is something a little bit different in that it can be a range of attractions, usually to both genders, either fairly equally or predominantly one side or another. Transgender is a little bit more complicated. Transgender is about people who feel they were born in the wrong body or who identify with a different gender from their own. If we look in further depth at transgender or transsexuals or even transvestites, we see that there are several different groupings here that can be quite important to people in how they express themselves. Probably the most famous these days is transsexuality. This is people who are going through surgery to move themselves between one sex to another sex. Often surgery will not go for the full change. For example, people may only have surgery above the waist if they are going from female to male. Going in the opposite direction, people may have implants above the waist to make themselves appear more feminine. If we look at full transgender surgery, this is actually quite a complicated and can be quite a traumatic event for a person in their life. This is a major part of their body which is being changed. It is a major, major step. So people usually have to have approval of psychotherapists and other therapists before it is accepted that this is something that they truly want rather than a manifestation of something else in their life. Even with surgery, people often need hormones or other treatment to help go through what is called the transition. Transition is when you're turning from one sex to another sex. Beside these, we also have people who consider themselves transgender, and again, this can be self-identified. So people who may be manifesting behaviours in a way that are more feminine, but they are in a masculine body, or more masculine, although they're in a female body. This is perhaps a lot more accepted these days than it was 20 years ago. And I think we're seeing an increasing blurring in the way that gender is represented, and we are understanding more that gender is something that society creates for us. And it's something that we have to choose to comply to. And there are people who choose not to comply to that, and that's very healthy for them. Lastly on this list, we'll go for transvesticism, which is where people who are happy in their sex and their physical sexual identity choose to wear clothing which is from the opposite sexual identity. And again, this is based on gender and how society perceives these things. A man wearing a dress in Western society will often be considered a transvestite, whereas there are various cultures around the world where items of clothing that look like a dress to Western society are considered perfectly masculine. So again, it's about how society creates these things.
So, as we could see in the lecture, people have a tendency to label themselves, and especially others. Do you define yourself with a certain label?
Actually not. I see myself as human, and yeah, I'm human, but I feel that I'm a man, and before I felt that I was a lesbian because I was a little more of a girl, but yeah, not really from the inside. But my mom really wanted me to wear girls' clothes, so I thought I was lesbian.
Yeah.
And yeah, sure.
Do you think that transgender is a good term because you are a guy? Because I think gender is something that's in your mind, right? It's in here. It's not. It's not based on what's between your legs.
Yeah.
Do you think transgender is a good term?
In the beginning, I thought it was kind of weird. I couldn't really see myself as transgender. I mean, I was a man, and I didn't want to be called transgender because it didn't sound really right for me.
Yeah.
It feels like that you're labeled with something like a disorder, but it doesn't feel like a disorder for me.
No.
But then, how do you explain yourself to others? Because for yourself, it's clear what you are. But yeah, as you said, some people don't understand. How do you explain yourself, your mind?
Well, a lot of people have been asking me if I was a boy or a girl, and then, well, when I was younger, I directly said I was a boy. But well, when you grow older, it gets more difficult. So mostly, I just explain myself by telling them that I'm a boy in a girl's body.
Yeah.
But I feel like a boy and I express like a boy, and it doesn't matter.
Yeah, because of people not understanding it really well, I think it's good to have like a look into your daily life. Do you, like when you go to bathrooms or to toilets, do you check if there are appropriate toilets, like in the men's bathroom?
Well, normally I just walk in and then I'll see. But the funny thing is, when I walk out and another man or woman, depends on which one I choose, walks in, I see them looking confused, like, am I in the right restroom? Like,
Might be funny.
yeah.
Might be funny though.
Yeah, actually. Then I just walk with a little smile on my face. Like, yeah.
Well, thanks for being so honest with us here.
Yeah, no problem.
So after the break, we have a follow-up lecture by Dr. Haggis. And Jos Megans will join us, and he is a transgender expert. And he will explain us about the process of psychologists, hormones, and maybe even surgery. So stay tuned.
Welkom bij Spraakwater.
So welcome back to The Real. In our studio we have Chalice, a boy in a girl's body. And yeah, we're talking about your life, and we asked people on the streets, our reporters went on the streets in Breda with a photo of you to see what they thought.
Okay.
Yeah, because we wanted to know how people thought, because you want to portray yourself as a boy. What do you think the outcome will be? What the people will think?
I guess it will be very different because everyone is different in a way, and they will have their own views of how people are and how they are, and yeah, I guess I'll just see how they will react.
Well,
Okay.
We'll see.
Een meisje dat een jongen is geworden. Ik weet niet, ik vind het moeilijk. Ja, je ziet het niet goed of zo.
Ik zie eigenlijk een beetje een vrouw.
Nee, ik vind hem wel lijken op een jongen. Het is ook een jongen, toch?
Ik zie dus een jonge man met een vrouwelijke geaardheid.
Ja, ik denk dat het een vrouw is, maar misschien wil deze vrouw een man zijn.
Jong.
Ik zou niet direct zeggen dat het een meisje is. Ik zie het er wel in.
Ja, ik denk dan toch eerder een meisje.
Ik denk als het een jongen is.
Met een petje, het haar een beetje kort en vrij mannelijke uitstraling.
So
So-
what did you think?
Yeah, quite fun to see. Yeah.
Is it as like you expected,
Yeah,
sort of?
yeah. It's like 50% chance that people would say it's a man or a woman. I'm a man or a woman.
Did you like experience that in daily life too, like in your just
Yeah.
when you're on the streets or wherever?
Yeah. Most of the time they keep on questioning. Yeah, I think you're a man. Well, no, yeah, I do think you're a man, right? And then I'm just like,
Yeah, sure.
and then I don't say anything.
Nice. And has this reaction of people to you, to if they perceive you're a girl or a boy, has this changed over time? Like, did they call you like a guy more often in the past, or did they they call you a boy now more often than they used to?
Yeah, they call me boy more often now. Well, in the past they did too, but it changed a little. Like at school, more people called me a girl, and the teachers also. But so yeah, I didn't really like that, but well, I got used to it, and I thought like, yeah, it's fine. Yeah, it shouldn't be in my way for anything, you know.
No, sure. So besides showing your picture, we also like sketched them, told them like a situation. It's not general. It's a very general situation, so it's not anything to do with you. So imagine that you are in a club and it's nice. You know, the evening is going well, and you see this really hot girl, and you think, "Wow, I need to have fun with her, and I love her at least for one night." And then you go home with her, and then she tells you right before things happen, "Oh, I have to tell you something. I might seem like a girl to you, and I feel like a girl, but my body is actually male." And what the reactions of people were, we're going to find out right now.
We hebben ons vergist.
Ik zou niet flippen of ik zou meer gewoon vragen hoe hij ermee omgaat en wat hij ervan vindt, hoe hij zich voelt. En
Ik vraag. Ik zou gewoon een leuke babbel doen, maar voor de rest zal het niet doen.
Ik denk dat je het even dan moet verwerken en ja, ik denk dat het daarna wel dan gewoon klaar is dan toch.
Maar ik zou het niet doen, denk ik. Niet gelijk met hem mee naar bed gaan. Nee, dat zou ik gedaan. Nee, ja.
Niet naar dit.
Nee. Hoe heeft het zo goed kunnen verbergen dan of zo?
Het zou best een leuke avond kunnen worden. Nee, ik denk het niet.
Ja, ik denk dat je dan, ik zou wel naar huis gaan, denk ik.
Dat we wel eens iets kunnen beleven, dat gaan we dus niet beleven. En dan sta je in een naakje, zal ik maar zeggen. Nee. Idee krap.
Wow.
Well, do you understand their reactions?
Yeah, I do.
Yeah?
I mean, they're totally new with it. They never saw something like it before, so yeah, I understand they have to process it.
Yeah.
And yeah.
And if you would be in the situation where you really like a girl and she turns out to be a guy, that you both are feeling the same but like opposites, how would you respond to that?
I wouldn't mind.
Because I can imagine, because you're more open-minded than I
Yeah.
think people who aren't as much involved as you are. But would you still proceed with the fun part of the night, so to say?
Yeah. I guess I will give it a try.
What about the other way around? When do you tell someone the situation?
Well, most of the times I'm just dancing with the person and then we have a little chat and, well, at the moment we're getting comfortable with each other, then yeah, it kind of goes automatically.
Okay.
Yeah.
So yeah.
And like when you were not drunken in the club, I'm not sure how drunk you usually get, but in
not so drunk.
in other situations, like just normally. Oh,
I
sure.
was legal for half a year.
For half a year. So when, like in other situations, just on the street or when you're meeting new people, when is usually the time that you tell them or when they find out?
Yeah, it depends. I had a few times that it was like after a week, and sometimes it's after an hour or after 10 minutes. So
Depends,
really differs.
really.
Yeah, it depends.
But you do tell them.
Yeah, I do.
Okay.
Yeah. Well, if I didn't, and then it would turn out to, I would turn out to have a nice night with someone, then the person might be in shock. So
Yeah, that's true. Yeah.
yeah, I don't want that to happen.
No, sure. Okay, thanks. Dr. Haggis already told us everything about LGBT, but there are still a couple of more letters that have to be attached to that, because the actual term would be LGBTQIA, and what QIA is will be explained right now.
Keep on going through the acronyms here. We have Q, I and A. People are often less familiar with these, so I'm going to go into a little bit more depth there. Q stands for queer. Queer is a bracket that a lot of people use to try and summarize who they are in many ways that aren't quite so understood by society. So you may have people in heterosexual relationships, but they're polyamorous. This means they can be in love openly with multiple people and in healthy relationships. You may have people who identify as kinky, such as BDSM, bondage, domination, sadism, and masochism. There are many, many different aspects of sexuality which can be embraced by the term queer. It can be used as an insult, and it has been used as an insult before, but quite often these days it's being used as an idea of pride, in a way that people take on an identity and say, no, there's nothing wrong with us. Move along, we go to I. I is for intersex. This can be people who've either been born intersex or people who've had surgery to become a blend between the sexes. How this often works is people aren't just born with a penis or a vagina. There are actually 5 different identifiers of your physical sex. These are born with you, or you can have them created through surgery. Now, these 5 different identifiers can be blended in different ways. For example, testicles, ovaries, penis, vagina. There's many different constructions in here. And people who are born with this often have complications in their life, both in terms of health and in terms of society. So they have their own identifier, which links them in with many of the other causes that are more familiar from the lesbian, gay, and bisexual side of things. Finally, we have the A. A stands for asexual, people who are not strictly attracted for sexual purposes to either genders. This can also happen in many ways. It can be that they actually still like kissing, they still like hugging, they still like company, but they don't necessarily want to go through with a full sexual act. A can also stand for allies. This is people who don't identify with any of the lesbian, gay, bisexual, transgender, queer, intersex or asexual lifestyles, but they want to support it and they want to put their backing behind this. So that's LGBTQIA. That's a quick summary of LGBTQIA and transvesticism, transsexuality and transgenderism, all in a little package for you. Thank you for listening.
Well, that was some interesting new acronyms.
Yeah.
Joining us now is Jos Megens, member of the Amsterdam Gender Team, which helps in the process before a transition. Welcome, Jos.
Thanks.
Thanks for being here. You're going to share your professional opinion about the hormones someone gets, the process of people who are coming at your gender team, because correct me if I'm wrong, people have to be diagnosed and go to psychiatrists, right?
No. We offer the transgender people, transsexuals, a sex reassignment treatment. That means we try to adapt the body to the gender identity. And this is a medical treatment. And it's covered by the health insurance. And before you go in a medical treatment in Holland, you need a diagnosis. And first step is a diagnosis. That will take about 4-6 months. Then the hormone treatment, female hormones for male to female transsexuals, and male hormones for female to male transsexuals. Takes 1 year at least, and then surgery. Top surgery, or later even eventually genital surgery.
Okay, and what I'm wondering is, at what age can you start this transition? Because puberty, girls' puberty starts early with age. When can you start the hormones?
What we do is to start the hormone treatment around puberty. And that kind of hormones delay the puberty. So female to male transsexual will not have the female puberty. At 16, the female to male transsexual get androgens, the male hormones, and at 18, surgery.
Okay. And what I'm also curious about is their parents, because it's a very young age. How do parents cope with this, and do they have to give permission?
They have to give permission, but most of the parents agree with that.
Okay.
Absolutely.
Okay. And does the hormones like affect your fertility? Like if you want to have children?
Yeah. So fertility is a very important issue. No, nowadays we can freeze sperm from female to male transsexual, no, male to female transsexuals, and until now it's not possible in Holland to freeze eggs for female to male. You have to go to Belgium then.
Okay.
Yeah. But it's very expensive to freeze eggs.
Okay. And Chalice, after hearing what he said, I think you have informed yourself a bit already.
Yeah.
How are you? What's your opinion about this? Are you willing to take hormones, or are you just fine with who you are right now?
I'm a bit in between. When I was younger, I really wanted to be a boy, and yeah, like right at the moment, I always wished to wake up as a boy, or when it was Christmas, I wished for, yeah, you know.
A thing.
Yeah. And yeah, but it didn't get there.
No.
So yeah, then I started realizing that I wouldn't become a boy just by growing into it, and that was quite difficult. I also really get excited about the thoughts to grow a beard and to be able to grow muscles faster, and because it will really help me with my dancing and other stuff, and I guess will make me even more confident.
So are you thinking about getting hormones?
Yes, I really do. But yeah, on the other side, I guess I am fine as who I am. I kind of realized that you don't have to be a man on the outside to be a man on the inside, and I guess I can express myself as who I am now, and yeah, that it doesn't really matter. But I do walk into some trouble, like sometimes when I go out or when I walk on the street, I don't really feel comfortable when biological men are looking at me with yeah, sometimes they give me some kind of stare, like they're yeah,
Like
that
they're not seeing you as a man, or
yeah, and they're seeing themselves as a real man, and then yeah, and then I don't have this beard and everything, so it makes things more difficult, definitely.
Okay. Well, thank you, Chalice, and thank you, Jos, for everything, for the explanation. After the break, Chalice is going to show how he expresses himself, as we saw earlier in his clip, and I'm pretty excited to see.
Cool.
So
yeah, we're curious. So
stay tuned.
Stay tuned.
Welkom bij Spraakwater.
Welcome back to The Real. We still have Chalice in our studio, the boy in a female body, and Jos Meekens of the Amsterdam gender team.
As I can imagine, like coming out to everyone is a struggle sometimes, because you could be scared of their reactions. But luckily, we figured that your friends are very supportive, and they had a little surprise for you. So take a look.
Oh.
Yo, Chalice.
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 Chalice. You're a really chill person, and You really should know that, right?
I've known you since other night 2014 and I don't regret a single day. Stay the way you are.
I don't really know you for a long time, and I've heard of all the things you've did in your life, and I'm really proud of what you've achieved with it.
You're an awesome person. Keep up with what you're doing right now, and stay true to yourself.
You've been a very good friend of mine. Keep up the good vibes, and you have the ability to change people's lives, as you did with mine.
Keep up the good vibes.
Vet. Oh, dat is echt heel cool.
So those were your friends.
I didn't expect that.
What a surprise.
That was really positive.
Yeah, such lovely words. How do you feel?
Yeah, I feel really good. Yeah.
Feel really good?
I do.
You ready to express yourself and such?
Sure.
Okay, you can go right there. And in the meantime, yeah, she will take your microphone and such.
Okay.
It'll be fine.
We had a lot of fun today. We learned a lot about LGBTQIA, about the transition of transsexuals and transgender. We had a lot of insight in Chella's life, and we had fun.
We had a lot of fun. Jos, just one quick question. Can you maybe explain what the importance is of a supporting environment for maybe transgender people, but people from the LGBT community in general?
Yes, I'm gay. I don't fit myself in the box of gay. Let's open the boxes. We're all human beings, and that's one of the goals with this program, isn't it?
Yeah, it is. Thanks.
Okay.
So, Chalice, take it away. Thank you so much for watching this second episode of The Real. Thank you, Chalice, for being here. You've been an awesome guest. And thank you, Jos, for all your advice and opinions on upon your area of expertise. And of course, thanks for our amazing audience in the studio for being here. Applaud yourself, guys.
And thank you, Jelle.
Thank you, Annemarie.
For being my co-host.
For being an amazing host. So let's open those boxes, and this has been The Real. Thanks for watching.
Keep up the good vibes.